Alright, well, I've got a couple of coats on. Doesn't look all that impressive right now, but hopefully tomorrow it'll look a little good in the daylight. You can kind of see coming together. Unfortunately, these paint cans aren't cooperating. I'm not getting a full can out of them. That most expensive stuff, that the metal flake, which sucks. And this looks a little uneven up here, but it'll get better. All right, so time to start electrical. I ran out of paint here, but I can touch that up later. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. And this could have been better. Part of it's because I used a darker primer because I ran out of my other one, but it's good enough. And honestly, I can kind of tape from the top of the window and cover the entire dash, maybe in the future, and use a little bit of body filler and stuff and just smooth that out just a little bit more. But again, it's not really a show truck. It's going to be driven, and it's really hard to capture how pretty this color is on camera. It's just the metal flakes just really do not show up on camera like they do in person, but it looks good, trust me. All right, I'm just getting my game plan together here. I already have a wiring diagram I made for this. What I'm thinking is, you know, I wanted to showcase the electronics like in this area of the dash, so there might be some windows or acrylic or something, but what I really need to do is figure out specifically where the different stuff is going to be. So what I'm gonna do is take this dash apart, go ahead and separate its metal support bracket, and then I'll go ahead and sand that and paint it real quick, and then I'll put that in there without the dash and kind of mock up where I'm going to be putting the electronics and stuff and go from there. Gonna break from sanding here for a minute. Got some parts in. Should be the plugs and the shifter. The shifter is really what I want to look at because it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to work. Now these plugs right here are made for headers for the 440 specifically, because if you know the old Mopar engines, they always have the larger 3/4 inch plugs, and this narrows it down, gives you the best chance of it fitting and everything. But I also already have spark plug guards to go in. They're fiberglass that go around the plug and everything, keep the wire from getting heat damaged. So let's take a look at this shifter and see if it's something that's going to be able to be used. I mean, it's going to have to work regardless, because I'm not buying a damn $400 B&M shifter right now. That's just stupid. I don't even really like them all that much, the B&Ms. I mean, I've used them in Mustangs and stuff. It's just nothing all that special about them. And a lot of times the ratchet doesn't even friggin' line up like with the gears correctly, and you have to do a bunch of adjusting. Now, I'll admit, I thought this was gonna be longer. Oh, at least it's threaded. So I can put me a shifter on there. And I could cut this and elongate it. But it's been chromed too, so it kind of sucked to have to do that. Oh, and it does have one little locking position. So that would be park. It's interesting. I mean, this roll pin kind of just... It's almost like locked in there real good. I wonder how that's supposed to work. Almost like this would have to be trimmed to allow that roll pin to kind of go over. I do like having a click, but clearly that ain't gonna work. It's almost like this bracket's reversed. Because you can see another one, like, you see the roll pin right here, and then there's another catch. And there's a spring in there. Pretty simple design. All right, got it all painted up for the dash. All right, so while I had some parts drying, I've done a few things to the engine. I was having a little difficulty with the header bolt holes even before I repainted. So I went ahead and ran a grade A bolt with some cutting fluid through all of the studs. I mean, all through the holes here to make sure all threads are good, clean them out. I went ahead and put some mystery oil in the cylinders and inspected the cylinders with a bore scope, made sure they look good, turned everything over a few times, got it back on TDC, and I made sure my TDC mark was actually matching up. And now I've got these plugs. Now I'm pretty certain these are the right ones, but I always check, because if you get this wrong, here's a ruler and check that it's around 3/4 of an inch. And it is. It looks pretty good. If you minus the crush washer, it's right at 3/4, so that's correct. And then as long as they thread in, everything should be good. A little difficult there too, honestly, but there's a little bit of rust on there. That's okay. So I'll get those put in. I've got to gap them. Now, standard gap is 0.35. But when you have a hotter ignition for these, you want to run 0.40, 0.45, or even more than that, depending on what kind of crazy setup you got. But I'm gonna put these right in the middle at 0.40 and go with that and see how it runs. And then I'll go ahead and put the header on here and torque it. It should be 35 foot-pounds for the header. And I think that's it. So I'll get this header on. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap that header. That fiberglass is such a pain, makes you so itchy. I'm going to have to put on like a hoodie, so I might do that later this afternoon or tonight or something. But, you know, once I get all the electrical run and stuff, I'll be able to put this in because I won't need to be able to get the engine bay to run wires and stuff. So it won't be long. We'll be cranking this thing hopefully tonight. Whew. Y'all, that's the most problem I've had out of a header in forever. But I got it on there. I probably wasted half an hour on that. Jesus.